The morning sun had just begun to stretch across the dust-lined streets of Mbarara, painting the roofs of tiny food stalls in warm gold. The city sat between old traditions and modern dreams. Boda-bodas zipped through crowded intersections, women sold cassava and tomatoes from woven baskets, and students in faded uniforms hurried past the market, laughing like they didn't know what poverty meant. But for Amina, a 22-year-old girl from the outskirts of Roharo, laughter had long stopped being a luxury. She had responsibilities, dreams, and a life that never gave her anything without taking something first. She walked briskly, worn sandals slapping against the pavement, her brown handbag tucked tightly under her arm. Inside was a single printed document, a job application she had rewritten 5 times because she kept doubting her English. Customer Relations Assistant, the posting said. Salary enough to lift her mother out of charcoal selling. Enough to pay school fees for her little brother. Enough to breathe again. Her eyes flicked toward the sky as she whispered, "Ya Allah, let today be a good day." The road was already alive with voices. An old man argued with a tomato seller over price, a goat bleated as it tried to escape its rope, and somewhere in the distance, the scent of mandazzi frying in oil floated through the air. Amina's stomach rumbled, but she ignored it. Breakfast was for people who didn't have to choose between eating and bus fare. She turned onto the main road toward town when she noticed something strange up ahead, a sleek black car parked awkwardly by the roadside. The kind of car whose tires cost more than her family earned in 3 months. She walked slower, sensing something was off. Then she saw her. A woman sat on the curb beside the car, her face buried in her hands, shoulders trembling. Her clothes, a cream silk blouse and tailored trousers, were stained with dust, and one heel lay snapped beside her. She looked out of place. Too polished for the messy street. Too fragile for the chaos around her. Amina blinked. Rich people didn't cry in public. At least, she'd never seen one. Still, she didn't hesitate. She approached slowly. "Madam, are you okay?" The woman didn't look up. "Please, leave me." Her voice cracked like something had broken inside her. Amina crouched beside her. "I can't leave someone crying alone by the road." "What happened?" For a moment there was silence, just the hum of cars passing and the distant chatter of market vendors. Then the woman lifted her head. Her eyes were red, makeup smudged, but even then, her face carried a graceful kind of strength. High cheekbones, neat braids, the delicate jewelry of someone who didn't buy things in small markets. Amina felt oddly intimidated. "My driver left me," the woman whispered. He was stealing from me. When I confronted him, he drove off with my phone and my bag. Everything." Amina's jaw tightened. "I'm so sorry." The woman laughed weakly. Imagine, a grown woman, CEO of a whole company, sitting here crying like a child. Amina froze. "CEO." She swallowed, heart racing, but she forced herself to stay calm. This wasn't about her job dream. The woman in front of her wasn't a job posting. She was a person in pain. "Anyone can be overwhelmed," Amina said gently. "Even the strongest tree bends in a storm." The woman stared at her, surprised. "What's your name?" "Amina." "I'm Lydia." Amina nodded politely. "Madam Lydia, do you want water?" "I can buy some." "You don't need to." "I insist." Amina stood and jogged to a nearby shop. The Boda riders watched her. One even joked, Amina, you have started helping rich women now? Maybe she will make you her assistant." She ignored them and bought water with the little money she had left, praying the fare wouldn't exceed her bus estimate. When she returned, Lydia was wiping her face, trying to compose herself. Amina opened the bottle and handed it to her. "Thank you," Lydia whispered. She sipped slowly. "It's just, everything has been too much lately. The company, my family, betrayal everywhere." Amina sat beside her. Sometimes life throws so many stones, you don't know which one hit you first. Lydia chuckled through her tears. "That's exactly how it feels." She wiped her face again. I'm sorry you're seeing me like this. People think rich women don't cry. They think money protects you from life. Amina shook her head. Money only protects you from hunger. The heart still breaks the same. Lydia stared at her as if seeing her properly for the first time. You're wise. Amina shrugged. Life forces you to be. A car honked loudly as it tried squeezing around Lydia's abandoned vehicle. The street chaos made Lydia flinch. Do you have somewhere you need to be? Lydia asked finally. Amina hesitated. Yes. I was going to apply for a job. Oh. Lydia perked with interest. Where? Amina hesitated again. At Golden Horizon Group. Lydia blinked. A long, unreadable silence followed. Amina didn't notice. She was busy smoothing her cheap skirt nervously. Why Golden Horizon? Lydia asked softly. Amina didn't know why, but she answered honestly. Because I want to help my family. My mother works too hard. My brother needs school fees. And I want to be more than what people expect from girls like me. Lydia's fingers tightened around the water bottle. Her voice softened. And you think Golden Horizon will give you that chance? I hope so, Amina replied. I don't have connections. I don't have perfect English. But I have heart. I'm willing to learn, to work. I just need one opportunity. Lydia looked away, overwhelmed again, but this time for a different reason. I see, she whispered. Amina stood. Let me help you find a taxi. No, Lydia said quickly. Wait. Amina looked at her curiously. Let me see your CV. Amina blinked. Now. Yes. Flustered, Amina opened her handbag and handed her the folded papers. Lydia smoothed the wrinkles and read silently, her expression unreadable. Amina's heart thudded in her chest. She didn't know why this mattered so much. Lydia was a stranger. But something felt significant. Finally, Lydia folded the papers gently. Amina, do you know why I told you my driver betrayed me? Amina frowned. Because you were upset. No, Lydia said softly. Because betrayal hurts most when it's from those you trusted. But kindness. She touched Amina's hand lightly. Kindness from strangers, that's rare. Very rare. Amina felt her throat tighten. You didn't know who I was. You didn't expect anything. You just helped. Lydia stood slowly. People like you are the ones companies should be looking for. Amina blinked rapidly. Madam, Before she could finish, a man from a nearby shop shouted, Madam, phone. Someone found a phone by the ditch. It might be yours. Lydia hurried toward him. Amina followed. The man handed over the sleek smartphone, cracked but still working. Lydia gasped in relief. Where did you find this? A boy saw it thrown from a moving car, the man said. Driver looked angry. We think he dumped it. Lydia's anger simmered, but she hid it. Thank you. When she turned back, Amina was standing awkwardly by her broken shoe. Lydia approached her. Amina, can you come with me to the office? Amina panicked. Office? But I'm not prepared. I was supposed to leave my application at reception. No, Lydia interrupted softly. You're coming with me. No. But why? Lydia smiled. A gentle, mysterious smile. You'll see. Amina didn't understand. But she nodded, because something in Lydia's eyes was impossible to refuse. As they waited for the taxi Lydia called, people stared. Poor village girls standing beside elegant businesswoman, both looking like fate had pulled them into the same story. Amina clutched her worn handbag, heart hammering. She had wanted an opportunity. But she didn't know the opportunity was standing right beside her. She didn't know this moment would change everything. Her life, her future, her family's destiny. And she certainly didn't know that Lydia, the woman she'd comforted on the dusty roadside, wasn't just a CEO. She was the CEO of Golden Horizon Group, the very company Amina was trying to join. But fate works in silence. And it wasn't ready to reveal the truth yet. Not just yet. As the taxi pulled up and Lydia opened the door for her, Amina stepped inside cautiously, unaware that she was stepping straight into a storm of hope, betrayal, revenge, and love that would shape the rest of her life. Unaware that her kindness had already been seen, felt, and remembered. Unaware that her world was about to shift. Forever. The taxi ride to the city center was strangely quiet. Amina sat on the far side, hands gripping the edge of her skirt, her heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. Lydia sat next to her, phone in hand, texting rapidly, her regained composure making her look powerful again, almost intimidating. The kind of woman Amina never imagined she'd speak to so casually. The city stretched wider as they entered the business district, glass-fronted buildings towering like guardians over the old streets. Expensive cafes. Workers in suits. Cars without dust on them. Amina swallowed hard. She didn't belong here. Her heart shrank a little. Lydia glanced at her. Relax, Amina. You're safe. Amina forced a smile, though her palms were sweating. I've never been to this side before. Lydia's voice softened. I grew up in a village. Trust me, the side of town doesn't define you. What you're carrying inside does. Amina looked away, touched. The taxi stopped in front of a massive building, tall, silver, with gold letters gleaming at the top. Golden Horizon Group. Amina froze. Her mouth parted. Her knees weakened. She felt her blood turn cold. Madam. Her voice shook. This is... Yes, Lydia said gently. My company. Amina tried to breathe, but the air felt thick. I didn't know. I thought. I'm not dressed properly. I can't just walk inside like this. Lydia placed a hand on her shoulder. A calm, grounding presence. Amina. You helped me when I was vulnerable. Let me help you now. Nobody is judging your clothes here as long as I'm the one bringing you. Amina nodded slowly but still felt like the ground beneath her was unsteady. They entered the grand lobby, where marble floors glimmered under silver lights. Staff in smart uniforms greeted Lydia with respect. Good morning, Madam Lydia. Welcome back, Madam. Should we prepare the boardroom? Amina stared. This wasn't just a CEO. This was a queen in her own kingdom. Lydia led her toward the private elevator. Come. Amina followed, praying her legs wouldn't give out. Inside the elevator, polished mirrors reflected her simple skirt, sun-worn sandals, and anxious face. She looked small. Out of place. The elevator opened to a quiet top floor. Expensive art. Big windows overlooking the whole city. Lydia's office door stood ahead, tall, dark, intimidating. Lydia entered first. Amina hesitated at the doorway. Come in, Lydia said warmly. Amina stepped inside. The office was huge. Mahogany desk, shelves of files, family photos, glass sculptures, and a soft carpet that felt like walking on clouds. Amina barely breathed. Lydia motioned to a seat. Sit. Amina sat slowly, trying not to sink too deeply into the expensive leather. Lydia took a moment before speaking. Amina, today was not an accident. I believe things happen for a reason. You helped me when you didn't have to. I want to help you in return, not because you want a job, but because you showed the kind of heart that money cannot buy. Amina blinked rapidly. Madam, I don't want charity. Lydia nodded approvingly. Good. I don't give charity. She slid Amina's CV across the table. I give opportunities. Amina's breath caught. Lydia continued, You want the customer relations position. Yes, Amina whispered. I think you're capable, but the interviews are today. Very competitive. Over 200 applicants. Some with degrees. Some with fluent English. Some with experience. Amina lowered her gaze, feeling small again. But, Lydia emphasized, none of them helped a stranger on the street without knowing she could change their life. None of them showed sincerity and courage before even walking into the office. Amina's eyes widened. "Let me be honest," Lydia continued. "Character matters. Kindness matters. And today, I witnessed both in you." Amina felt her eyes sting. She looked up. "Madam Lydia, I—" "Before anything," Lydia interrupted softly, "tell me this. Why should you get this job, Amina? Not for your family. Not for sympathy. For yourself." Amina inhaled shakily. She'd rehearsed this answer in her tiny room 100 times. But now, the truth felt different. "For myself," she whispered. "Because I'm tired of watching life pass me by. I'm tired of being told I'm poor, therefore I should remain in the same place. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to prove that where I come from does not limit where I'm going." Lydia listened, deeply. Amina continued, voice trembling but sincere, "I want to be proud of myself. I want to show my younger brother that the world doesn't decide our future. We do. And I want someone to finally look at me and say I deserve a chance." Silence settled. A deep, emotional silence. Lydia exhaled. "Amina, I think you deserve that chance." Amina gasped softly. "But," Lydia said carefully, "I cannot hire you just because you helped me. That would be unfair. You must earn your place like everyone else." Amina nodded quickly. "Of course." Lydia smiled slightly. "So, here's what will happen. I want you to go home for today. Prepare. Tomorrow morning, you will come back, not as a girl who helped me on the roadside, but as an applicant. You will sit for the interview with everyone else." Amina felt her heart sink for a moment. "But," Lydia added with a small grin, "I will be on the panel. And trust me, heart impresses me more than English." Amina covered her mouth with her hand, tears prickling her eyes. Thank you so much." "Don't thank me yet," Lydia said gently. "Prove yourself first." Amina nodded eagerly. Then Lydia stood and walked to a cabinet. She returned holding a small envelope. "What's this?" Amina asked faintly. "Transport money. And something extra for lunch. You didn't eat this morning." Amina's eyes widened with shame. "Madam, please." "Amina," Lydia interrupted softly, "I am not giving you charity. I am investing in someone who deserves a fighting chance. Take it." Amina hesitated, then accepted the envelope with trembling hands. I'm grateful. You've earned it." They walked together to the elevator. "Amina," Lydia said as the doors opened, "come tomorrow confident. Come believing you belong here." Amina nodded. "I will." They parted ways in the lobby. As Amina stepped outside into the sunlight, the city no longer looked cold and unreachable. It looked like something she might soon be part of. But fate was not finished. Not even close. As Amina walked toward the bus stop, a black car pulled up. A man stepped out, tall, sharply dressed, and carrying himself with the confidence of someone who believed the world belonged to him. His smile was charming, his eyes intense. He looked directly at Amina. "Amina?" he asked. She froze. "Yes." He extended his hand. "I'm Cato, Madam Lydia's son." Amina's breath stopped. "Son," he continued with a smirk, "my mother told me about you. The girl who helped her." Amina didn't know whether to be relieved or terrified. Cato studied her from head to toe, amused. "She speaks highly of you. Very highly. I wanted to see the girl who made my stubborn mother emotional." Amina shifted nervously. I didn't do anything special." He smiled. A slow, fascinated smile. Humility. "I like that." Amina stepped back slightly, unsure. Cato tilted his head. Are you free to talk for a moment? Maybe I can give you a few tips for the interview. Amina hesitated. A warning voice inside whispered, "Be careful." But she also remembered Lydia's kindness. Maybe her son was just being polite. So she nodded. They walked toward a quieter corner near a flower stand. Amina kept a sensible distance. Cato spoke first. "My mother doesn't like people easily. If she likes you, it means you touched her heart. That is rare." Amina flushed. "I was just helping someone who needed help." "That's the thing," Cato said. "You didn't know she was important. Most people only help when there's something to gain." Amina looked down. "That's wrong." Cato studied her with an unreadable expression. "You're interesting." She didn't like that statement. It felt intrusive. Cato leaned closer. "I'll be honest with you. Many people in this company will not want you to succeed. You're young. From outside the city. They'll think you're unqualified before hearing you speak." Amina swallowed hard. "But if you ever need help," Cato added, lowering his voice, "you can come to me." Amina raised her eyes, meeting his. There was something sharp in his gaze. Calculated. She stepped back. "Thank you, but I want to get the job on my own merit." Cato smirked. "Proud. I respect that." He slipped a card into her hand. "Still, keep this. Just in case." Amina didn't want it, but refusing in the middle of the street felt rude. She slipped the card into her bag, reminding herself not to use it. Cato walked backward to his car, still watching her. "See you soon, Amina." He drove off. Amina stood there for a long moment, uneasy. Something about him didn't feel right. But she pushed the thought aside. She had bigger battles to fight. She headed home, ready to prepare for the biggest interview of her life. But fate, quiet, unpredictable, sometimes cruel, had already begun shifting the pieces. And tomorrow would not unfold the way she imagined. Not at all. The rooster had barely crowed when Amina woke, heart already thumping with nervous energy. Today wasn't an ordinary day. Today, her future would be tested. She washed quickly using water stored in a yellow jerrycan, dressed in her one good skirt and her carefully ironed blouse, the same outfit she wore to weddings, funerals, school meetings, anything important. Her mother noticed the worry in her eyes as she tied a thin scarf. "Mama," Amina whispered, "pray for me." Her mother cupped her face lovingly. "My daughter, you have a clean heart. Even if you walk into a room of lions, Allah will make them silent. Go with courage." Amina fought tears and hugged her. Her little brother, Musa, peeked from behind the curtain, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "Amina, when you get the job, will you buy me new shoes?" he asked hopefully. She laughed softly, ruffling his hair. "Inshallah, Musa. Pray for me too." She left the house with determination burning inside her. The walk to the bus stop felt longer than usual. Every sound, every passing boda-boda, every gust of wind seemed to amplify her anxiety. But she kept repeating Lydia's words. "Come believing you belong here." Amina whispered them as a prayer. The Golden Horizon building shimmered in the morning sun. Workers hurried in with coffee cups, wearing confidence like perfume. Amina breathed deeply before entering. The lobby was buzzing. Dozens of applicants sat in rows, men in suits, women in polished heels, all holding thick file folders. Amina froze. Her cheap handbag suddenly felt embarrassingly small. Her sandals felt too worn. Her English felt too shaky. One woman eyed her up and down and whispered to her friend, "That one must be lost." Another man snickered, "Interview? Looking like that?" Amina swallowed her shame. She walked toward the registration desk. The HR assistant looked at her kindly. "Name? Amina Kasirai." The assistant scanned the list. "Yes, you're on it. Take this number. Interview begins soon." Amina sat alone, ignoring the stares. Her heartbeat was loud, but her resolve was louder. Suddenly, the room shifted. Heads turned. People straightened their clothes. Lydia walked in. Elegant, powerful, composed. Everyone recognized her. Amina lowered her gaze, not wanting anyone to connect them. But Lydia's eyes scanned the room until they found her. Their gaze met, just briefly, and Lydia's eyes softened. A smile tried to form, but she suppressed it. Professionalism. Amina's heart calmed. The HR assistant announced, "Madam Lydia will join the final panel today." Gasps spread across the room. One applicant whispered, "This interview is finished. We are dead." CEO herself. Pressure. Amina breathed in deeply. Minutes passed. Applicants entered one by one and left with tense faces. Then her number was called. Number 17, Amina Kasirai. Her stomach flipped. She stood slowly, smoothing her skirt. She walked toward the door as whispers trailed behind her. Inside, 3 panelists sat at a long table, 2 senior managers and Lydia in the center. Amina's pulse quickened, but she bowed respectfully. "Good morning." "Good morning, Amina," Lydia replied warmly, though subtly hiding her familiarity. One manager, Mr. Oak, cleared his throat. "Let's begin. Tell us about yourself." Amina inhaled slowly. "My name is Amina Kasirai. I come from Ruharo. I completed Senior 6 but couldn't join university due to financial challenges. I've worked in local shops, helped run a market stall, and I've learned how to deal with people. Kind ones, difficult ones, all sorts. I'm patient, hard-working, and always willing to learn." Mr. Oak nodded. "Good. Customer relations requires handling pressure. What would you do if a client shouted at you unfairly?" Amina answered honestly. "People shout when they feel unseen. I would listen first. Let them feel heard. Then explain calmly. Anger cools faster when faced with calm." One panelist raised an eyebrow, impressed. Another asked, "Why should we hire someone without a degree when we have applicants with higher qualifications?" Amina swallowed. This was the question she feared. She raised her chin gently. "I cannot compete with their degrees. But I can compete with my heart. I know struggle. I know patience. I know how to talk to people respectfully. A certificate can show what you learned, but it cannot show who you are." Silence. Then, Lydia leaned forward. "Amina, what motivates you?" Amina paused. "My family, my dreams, and the belief that even people like me deserve a chance." For a moment, Lydia's eyes softened, pride hiding behind professionalism. Mr. Oak scribbled notes. "Thank you. You may step out. Results will be posted tomorrow." Amina bowed again and left the room. As she walked to the lobby, some applicants glared at her. One woman sneered, "You think you can take a city job? Go back to your village." Amina ignored her and stepped outside. The sun felt too bright. Her legs felt weak. But her heart whispered hope. "Excuse me." Amina turned. The rude woman from earlier approached her. Before Amina could speak, the woman slapped the folder from her hand. "You village girls come to take our jobs?" Amina froze, stunned. People watched. The woman stepped closer, furious. "Do you know how many years I studied? And you probably came from digging gardens." Amina's throat tightened. "Sister, please, I don't want trouble." "Trouble?" The woman sneered. "Let me give you some advice. People like you never get jobs here." Amina's heart cracked, humiliation burning her eyes. "But then—" A sharp voice cut through the air. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" Everyone turned. Lydia stood behind them, fire in her eyes. The woman's bravado evaporated instantly. Madam Lydia, I didn't know." "Didn't know what?" Lydia stepped closer. "That bullying is forbidden." That humiliating another applicant disqualifies you immediately." Gasps spread around. "Madam, please, I was only—" "You are done," Lydia said coldly. "Collect your things and leave this building. Now." The woman trembled and fled. Amina stared, stunned beyond words. Lydia turned to her gently. "Are you okay?" Amina nodded slowly, tears threatening to fall. "I'm fine. Thank you." "Keep your head up," Lydia whispered. "Don't let small minds lower your value." Lydia touched her shoulder briefly, then walked away before anyone could suspect anything. Amina watched her go, strength returning to her bones. She boarded a bus home, unsure of her fate, but confident she had given her best. That night, Amina sat outside her home staring at the stars. The village was quiet except for crickets. Her mother brought her a cup of warm tea. "How was it?" she asked. Amina sighed. "Hard. Scary. But I think I did well." Her mother smiled. "Your destiny will not miss you, my daughter." Amina nodded. But as she sipped her tea, she felt a strange worry creeping in. Something unexpected. Her memory flashed back to Cato, the CEO's son. His intense stare. His strange smirk. The way he looked at her like he was already thinking of something. She shivered. Mama noticed. "What is worrying you?" Amina hesitated. "Nothing. Maybe I'm overthinking." But she wasn't. Because at that very moment, in the luxurious family mansion across town, Lydia was sitting at her dining table reviewing interview notes. Cato entered quietly. "You met the girl today?" he asked casually. Lydia didn't look up. "Yes. She did well." Cato leaned against the table. "She's quite interesting." Lydia stopped writing. Slowly lifted her gaze. "Cato," she said sharply, "don't interfere with her." Cato smiled innocently. "Mother, I never said I would interfere." Lydia narrowed her eyes. "I know that smile. Stay away from her." "Why?" Cato asked. "You're protecting her already." Lydia hesitated. "She is sincere. That makes her vulnerable. I don't want you to play games with her." Cato chuckled. "Maybe she doesn't need your protection." "Cato," Lydia warned, "I'm serious." He raised his hands. "Relax. I'm simply curious." And he walked out. Lydia's worry deepened. She whispered to herself, "That boy will be trouble." The next morning, Amina woke before dawn. She didn't know whether she would get the job or not. Hope was dangerous, but she held it anyway. She walked to town again, heart racing. When she reached the Golden Horizon building, a crowd had gathered around a notice board. People were shouting, pushing, complaining. She squeezed through. Her eyes scanned the list. Line after line. Name after name. Her heartbeat pounding. Then she saw it. 17. Amina Kassiri. Selected. Her breath escaped in a gasp. Her vision blurred. Tears flooded her eyes. She covered her mouth with both hands. Someone behind her muttered, "How did she get selected?" "Ah, connections." But Amina didn't hear them. She ran outside, tears streaming freely. She had done it. She had made it. She wanted to scream, to dance, to fall to her knees in gratitude. She pulled out her phone to call her mother. But then she froze. A black car rolled to a stop in front of her. The window lowered. It was Cato. He smiled slowly. "Congratulations, Amina," he said. "Now the real story begins." Amina's joy faded into uneasy silence. Because in his eyes, she saw something that looked nothing like kindness. Something dangerous. Something that would twist her fate in ways she couldn't yet imagine. And the real storm of betrayal, revenge, love, and heartbreak was only beginning. Amina's first day at Golden Horizon began under a bright sky, the kind that seemed to promise hope. She walked through the rotating glass doors with her appointment letter clutched tightly to her chest. She wore the same blouse, but this time something inside her felt different, steadier, braver. The reception area was busy with the rush of morning tasks. Employees scanned their IDs, security guards nodded politely, and the soft murmur of conversations filled the air. Amina felt small but determined. She was led upstairs to a training room with 9 other new recruits. Some looked proud, others calculating, but a few cast judgmental glances at her worn shoes. Amina ignored them, remembering her mother's words. Destiny does not fear mockery. The orientation began with a firm woman in a purple blazer named Mrs. Namatovu. "Congratulations," she said briskly. "You are now part of Golden Horizon." Amina's heart swelled. They were briefed on company policies, customer service principles, call handling etiquette, problem-solving, and communication skills. Amina took notes furiously. She listened more than she spoke, absorbing every detail like a sponge desperate for water. During a break, a girl named Olivia whispered to her, "Congratulations on being selected. I saw how that woman insulted you that day. You handled it with so much grace." Amina smiled shyly. "Thank you." But not everyone smiled at her. A man in a navy suit scoffed loudly to his friend, "Connections. You see how she was talking to Madame Lydia outside? We all know why she's here." Amina's stomach knotted. She wanted to defend herself, but she also knew it would make things worse. She stayed silent. She focused. She endured. At lunchtime, Amina found a quiet corner in the company garden and pulled out a small container of homemade rice and beans. She ate slowly, enjoying the breeze. But then, footsteps. She looked up. Cato stood there, hands in pockets, smiling. Amina stiffened. "Relax," he said gently. "I'm not here to scare you." She remained silent. "You got the job," he continued. "I told you, you're interesting." Amina's voice was small but firm. "Please, Cato, don't follow me." His smile faded into amusement. "I'm not following you. I work here too. But, what do you want?" He sat beside her on the bench, uncomfortably close. "Only to get to know the girl who made my mother cry." Amina shifted slightly away. "Your mother is a good woman. She helped me more than I can ever repay." Cato chuckled darkly. "You don't know her as I do. My mother is smart, but she trusts too easily. People like you." He paused, eyeing her. Amina frowned. "People like me? You know what I mean." Amina stood. "If you don't mind, I want to eat alone." She walked away with trembling hands. Cato remained seated, watching her go with a smile that held something sharp. From the window above, Lydia saw the entire exchange. Her face hardened. "Cato," she muttered, "leave that girl alone." Days passed. Amina learned quickly. Her supervisors noticed her dedication, her calm nature, her ability to soothe even the angriest clients. Some employees warmed to her, but others continued whispering, making assumptions. One evening, as she packed her things, Lydia appeared at her desk. "Amina," she said kindly, "join me for a short walk." Employees stared, murmuring in envy and suspicion, but Amina followed Lydia into a quieter hallway. Lydia turned to her. "I want you to know you're doing well. Very well. Keep it up." Emotion warmed Amina's chest. "Thank you, madam." Lydia hesitated. "Has my son been bothering you?" Amina blinked. He approached me twice. Nothing more." Lydia's jaw tightened. "Stay cautious. He is not as warm as he pretends." Amina looked puzzled. "But he's your son." Lydia sighed deeply. "One day, you will understand that even family can become strangers." Amina swallowed. "I'll stay careful." "Good," Lydia said softly, and left. Amina didn't fully understand the warning. Not yet. But she soon would. 2 weeks into the job, everything changed. The company announced a new campaign, a massive project requiring customer relations officers to work in shifts. Amina volunteered for extra hours, grateful for the chance to prove herself. She was walking out late one evening when the sky rumbling with coming rain. She pulled her scarf tighter and hurried toward the road. A black car slid to a stop beside her. Amina tensed. The door opened. Cato stepped out. "Let me drop you home," he said calmly. "No, thank you. I prefer the bus. But the buses are rare at this hour. And it will rain soon. I'll manage." Cato sighed as if she were a stubborn child. "Amina, get in. I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm offering a ride." She hesitated. The wind picked up. Lightning cracked across the sky. Rain began to fall, heavy, fast, cold. Amina reluctantly got into the car. Silence filled the ride. Cato drove smoothly. Too smoothly. The way a predator circles its prey. After several minutes, he said, "You know, I could help you move up faster." Amina stiffened. "I don't need special help." Cato chuckled. "You're very proud. I like that. But pride doesn't open doors. I want to earn everything honestly." He shot her a sharp glance. "Everyone uses someone. Even my mother used you." Amina shook her head. "No. She never used me." Cato smirked darkly. "If you believe that, you are naive." He stopped the car suddenly, near her home. Amina opened the door quickly. "Good night." Cato grabbed her wrist, not hard, but firmly enough to scare her. "Be careful," he whispered. "The higher you rise, the more enemies you make." She pulled away, trembling. She entered her home in tears. Her mother noticed immediately. "Amina! What happened?" Amina wiped her face quickly. "Nothing, Mama. Just a long day." But she barely slept that night. The storm finally broke when rumors began spreading in the office. "Did you hear? Amina is seeing the CEO's son." "Oh, that's why she got the job." A village girl using charm. Classic. Amina's heart shattered. She confronted Olivia in the bathroom. "Olivia, did I do something to offend people?" Olivia shook her head. "No. It's jealousy. They heard you went home in Cato's car." Amina gasped. "It was raining. He insisted." But rumors grow faster than truth. By lunchtime, the whispers had turned poisonous. Amina sat alone, tears filling her eyes. Then the worst happened. Lydia called her into her office. Amina entered trembling. "Madam." Lydia sighed, rubbing her forehead. "Amina, I need to ask you something, and answer me honestly." "Yes, madam." "Are you involved with my son?" Amina felt stabbed. "No. I swear. I've avoided him. He forced me into his car because of rain." Lydia closed her eyes, pain crossing her face. "I knew it. I knew he would do something like this. Madam, please believe me." "I do," Lydia said firmly. "But the board is talking. HR is talking. They think I gave you the job because of him. Not because you earned it." Amina's knees weakened. "No, no, please, don't let this ruin everything." "I will fix it," Lydia reassured her. "Trust me." Amina nodded weakly and stepped out. But she didn't know that Cato had been watching from the corner, smiling. A smile filled with danger. He wasn't done. Not even close. The next morning, chaos erupted. A screenshot was circulating among employees. A chat screenshot. One showing Amina supposedly messaging Cato. "Thank you for yesterday night. I enjoyed the ride. Maybe we can meet again alone?" Amina fainted when she saw it. "This isn't me," she cried, shaking violently. People didn't care. They loved scandal. Lydia came out of her office, anger trembling through her frame. Who did this? Silence. Then she turned to Amina. Come inside. Amina broke down crying. Madam, I didn't write anything. I didn't. I know, Lydia said, voice burning with fury. This is Cato's doing. Amina froze. Cato? Yes. Lydia's voice shook with disappointment. He forged messages to destroy you. I warned him, but he is my son, my blood, and I cannot control him any more. Amina felt the world collapsing. But why? She cried. Why would he ruin me? Lydia looked away, tears forming. Because Cato has a toxic desire for things he cannot control. And the moment you rejected him, you became a challenge. Amina trembled. Madam, please don't fire me. This job is my only hope. Lydia took her hands. I am not firing you. But I need to clean this mess publicly. How? You will come with me to the board meeting. Amina gasped. But the board. They are powerful. So am I. The boardroom felt like a courtroom. 9 elderly men and women sat around a massive table. Lydia stood strong beside Amina, who shook with fear. One board member sneered, Madam Lydia, your son claims this girl is involved with him. Lydia's eyes flared. My son lies. Gasped. Another said, but we saw the messages. Lydia pulled out her phone, projecting evidence on the screen. Cato forged them using a fake app. I traced the IP. He is unstable. And Amina is innocent. Whispers spread. Amina lowered her head, tears dripping quietly. I take full responsibility for my son's actions, Lydia said. But I will not allow an innocent girl to be destroyed. Another board member asked, so what do you suggest? Lydia lifted her chin. Amina keeps her job. And Cato is banned from company premises until further notice. A unanimous murmur of approval filled the room. Amina gasped softly. The chairman nodded. Approved. The girl stays. Amina almost collapsed from relief. That evening, Amina left the building with a heart lighter than it had ever been. The sun felt warm and gentle. The world felt possible again. She heard footsteps behind her. She turned. It was Cato. His face was cold, shadowed by anger. So my own mother chose you over me, he said bitterly. Amina stepped back. Please. I don't want trouble. You embarrassed me today, he hissed. You tried to destroy me, she cried. Cato laughed darkly. You think this is over? Amina shook her head. Yes, it is. Stay away from me. She turned and walked fast toward the road. Cato didn't follow this time. He simply watched her go, fury burning in his eyes. But Amina didn't care. She had survived. She had won. She returned home to her mother and brother, who held her tightly as she cried tears of relief. Mama, she whispered, I got the job. And I kept it. Her mother smiled through tears. I knew Allah would not let lies defeat you. Under the starry sky, with her family's arms around her, Amina felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace, freedom, and hope for a beautiful future. And far away, in her luxurious home, Lydia sat alone, whispering a quiet prayer for the brave girl who had unknowingly changed her life. Their paths had crossed by accident. But the bond between them? That was destiny.